Hello, Broadway gymnasts. Welcome back. So we got another fun activity planned for you today. As always, we're going to go on ahead and start with our stretch, but this day is going to be more focused on legs because we're going to be really focused on landing today. So we're going to go on ahead and get started with our stretch. We want to really make sure that we stretch out our legs. There you go. Good job. And now go over to the other side. Good. And reaching for the middle. Awesome. And let's go ahead and take a seat. And go down to the side. Awesome. And other side. So today's lesson is going to be very much jump focused, but we're going to take it up another level, and you'll understand why that was actually a joke in just a little bit. I could tell you now, but it's more fun. I make you wait. And go ahead and go for that pike. So the straddle was an important stretch. The pike is also going to be another important stretch, which again, you will find out later. But until then, stay tuned. I'm gonna work on the toe point as well. So we're gonna go on ahead and stretch out our feet. Point them and flex them, point them and flex them, and rotate them around in circles. And flex. Good. And other foot. And flex. Good. And let's go ahead and get a butterfly stretch in. Just stretch out our hips. So again, with all the different jumps that you guys have learned, there's a tons of jumps that you guys could be doing. So we really need to warm up all parts of our legs. So we're going to go on ahead and do a quick wrist stretch. Because even though we're doing jumps, if you guys do happen to do something funny and you need to catch yourselves, it is important that your hands are warmed up, ready to catch yourself as well. But you guys are going to stick it, so you guys should not have to worry about falling down at all, because you guys are going to be awesome at it. I just know it. You guys are going to be so good with this. Good. And now we're going to go ahead and warm up our splits. It's going to be the last thing that we will do for this stretch, and then I will show you what it is that we'll be doing. I hope that you guys will have a fun time with. It is a game that I also enjoyed a lot as a gymnast. And it is also one that is very important. Good, and slide down. So I'll go on ahead and tell you what we're doing. So you are going to be jumping off of something that is elevated onto a lower surface and sticking your landing. Okay, so this game is called Stick It. So the first thing that you need to do is find something that you can actually safely jump off of. I'm not asking you to jump off of your second story building. Do not do that. It needs to be something small, like jumping down from the very last stair down to the bottom floor, or jumping and ask your parents if there's something else that you can jump off of. For instance, a small couch or your bed, or just ask your parents before you just start jumping off of things. Because they would not be happy. So you are going to jump off of an elevated surface that you pick and that your parents approve of. And then, this is where the game comes in. You are going to stick the landing. And I will explain what I mean by that whenever we are done with our stretch. So you have to hold the landing for 3 seconds before you are considered to have passed that jump. So you start out with really basic jumps, and then you work your way up. As you stick it, you can go on to more complicated jumps, and so on and so forth. So you can make the game last for as long as you would like. You can make the jumps as challenging as you would like. But the whole point is to teach you determination, because just because you are on a floor and it's just for fun doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to stick your landings all the time. and really fight for your landings, because then whenever it's important, you'll have practiced that skill and it'll be natural for you to fight for the landing, right? Because in gymnastics, every step counts. We really want to not take a step whenever we don't have to. So we want to fight for those landings. It's also going to make sure that you learn form, right? Because yeah, you can do your jumps and land all willy-nilly, but that doesn't necessarily look as nice and it's not safe either. So we really want to work on our landings, because they will come in handy for a bunch of things, especially whenever it comes from things like tumbling or dismounts, or pretty much anything that requires you to land in a lunge and absorb a landing. This will really help you learn that. So, without further ado, I will explain the rules and let's get started. All right, Broadway gymnasts, welcome to the other side of my camera. Normally you guys are right here, but we flip-flop this time. So, let's get started. So, once again, I have something that I am going to be jumping off of that is not extremely high. One of the other things that we are going to work on is absorbing our landing. That means landing toe, ball, heel. If you land just completely flat foot, that will cause your heels to wear over time and they will start to really hurt. One of the other things that we need to focus on is bending our knees. So what I mean by that is you want to allow your knees to take some of the landing, but you want to squeeze your quad muscles as well, because you don't want your knees to just like collapse and give out, because that's not going to help you at all, because then all the impact is going to go onto your knees. So you want your knees to give a little bit to allow you to absorb the shock of the landing, and then squeeze so then you can push yourself back up. So essentially you're slowing yourself down and then you're staying where you're supposed to be. Okay? You do not want to lean forward. If you do that, your body weight is going to drag you this way, and then you will have to take a step, which is not what you want to do. Same thing with leaning backwards or leaning to the side. So whenever we're doing these jumps, we really want to keep our torso still and just do the jump with our legs. Another thing, and women are especially prone to this. Whenever you land, your feet can be slightly apart or together. If they are slightly apart, do not bend your knees inwards. This will cause a lot of knee pain. Make sure that your knees are either forward or slightly out, that your knees are trying to go this way. Okay, it's a lot safer for your knees, and your quads are able to do a lot more of the work for you. Okay, so last but not least, the rules of the game. So you can make this easier or harder, whichever one you prefer. The way that I play is you can do whatever you want, wobbling, whatever, but your feet cannot move. If they even take a step, doesn't count, okay? Some people play it that like if you lift up a foot that you're about to take a step, you're out. That's also how I play it, okay? So your feet cannot move. You can do whatever else you want with your body. Your feet cannot move. You can make it the rule that if you, like wobble like 3 times or something, you're also out, right? Well, not necessarily out. You just have to redo the jump. So what I mean by that is you'll start at what I call level 1, which is just a straight jump, right? So you will go on ahead and do the jump, stick the landing. If you stick it and you hold for 3, you can move on to the next jump. If not, you have to keep repeating that jump until you stick it, and then you can move on, okay? So let's get started. First one is a straight jump. 1, 2, 3. Good. So I can move on to the next jump, which again, you can make this whatever you want. I'm just teaching you the basic version that I always use, and you can do whatever you want with it. You can make it as complicated as you want. You can customize it to jumps that you like. You can customize it to jumps that you need work on, whatever you want. So the next one is going to be a tuck jump, okay? One of the other things that you want to think about is that we are jumping off of this elevated surface. We are not falling off, right? This is not a straight jump. Okay, I kind of just fell down. You also notice that I stepped down. Jumps don't do that. They go off of 2 feet, okay? Tuck jump. You can swing your arms or not. I prefer to swing my arms, but just watch yourself. You are on an elevated surface now, so if you have a ceiling fan above you, be careful, okay? Just be aware of your surroundings. And again, make sure that you have your parents' approval for where you're going. Tuck jump. 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! Okay. Next is straddle. Straddle jump. Ooh! I lost. So my chest went a little bit forward. So one of the other things that you want to be careful of with jumps like a straddle jump is you should not be landing like this. That is an incomplete jump. Your legs go out and they close, okay? So you have to have enough time in the air and be moving your legs quick enough to actually complete the jump. because this is not a good landing either. So I move, so I have to try the straddle jump again. So all right. One, now. I keep leaning forward. All right, third time's the charm. I believe it. One, two, three. Boom. All right. So the next one, some people add a pike jump, others don't. I'm going to go on ahead and just move on to the next jump. Just for the sake of time, if you guys want to use a pike jump, go for it. Again, you can add whatever you want. So the next one is a jump half turn. So the hard part with this is that most gymnasts like to turn by dipping a shoulder. If you do that and you land, where are you gonna go? That way. So again, the turn has to come from the whole body moving and not just dropping a shoulder. All right, here we go. No! It's all right. Okay, you can do it. One, two, three. So as you can see, I circled my arms, but my feet didn't move. So, ha! I get to move on to the next one. And this one is the last one for my round, right? I have a relatively short round because honestly, learning the basic jumps can be really helpful for you. If you nail these basic jumps, you've pretty much got the concept of landing down, and then you can spice it up however you want. So the last jump that I do is a full turn, okay? As you can see, these jumps relatively progress. I think that turning is actually one of the harder ones to land. So the full turn is the last jump for me. And here we go. One, two, three. Ta-da! So that is it for Stick It. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to let us know, but otherwise, have a bunch of fun with your jumps and sticking or landing. And again, make sure that you ask your parents before jumping off of the couch, right? But I hope that you have a lot of fun with this, and I will see you guys next week. Great job, gymnasts.